Are you worried about predators coming in and ravaging your livestock and poultry? I know these guys are. Maybe you've considered getting an animal for your farm. Well, we're going to discuss some of the options you have available for guardian animals for your farm. Today's video coming right up. So I'm excited to talk about guardian animals. But before we do that, we want to address yet another question posed by one of our awesome viewers on the video 12 Things You Shouldn't Feed Your Chickens. This one comes from Sundancer442, who asked, what about pomegranates? Anybody know?
Yeah, we know.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, pomegranates are not only good for chickens, they're probably one of the better treats that you can give them. They're packed with vitamins and minerals, they contain antioxidants, and they help support a healthy immune system.
Yeah, in addition to that, they can support digestive health. And there are even studies that suggest that they improve egg quality by feeding those to your chickens. But again, like all treats, you're going to want to feed those in moderation. Yeah, don't go overboard with it.
So I have to ask, do you guys like eating pomegranates?
I'm okay with pomegranates. I would never seek one out, but if there was one here, I would eat it.
That's true for just about anything, by the way.
Right. I don't
Stale
know.
crust of bread. Well, I'm not going to seek it out, but if it's here, I'll suck on it till it softens enough for me to swallow it.
I was in there a lot of work.
You don't get to be this size by being picky. We'll pretty much eat it.
Oh, on that note, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So before we talk about guardian animal options, why do you need one at all?
Well, as the name implies, right, guardian animal, they can help protect your flock or other animals that are, less able to protect themselves against predators. They don't just fight them off sometimes, but sometimes they can keep them from even showing up at all.
Right. They can be intimidating and keep a predator from even wanting to go close to your animals or flock. I know I had a dog at one point, Mitchell. He was a good, loyal dog, and he was outside most of the day. He wasn't really bred or trained as a guardian animal, but he still deterred predators from coming to the farm and to the flock. As soon as he passed away, the stray dogs showed up and started attacking my chickens. So, yeah.
So I imagine a dog is a pretty popular choice for a guardian animal.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about kind of the pros. Why choose a dog?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons why a dog would be a good guardian animal for your farm. They're loyal, right? And they're going to bond with not just the people who raise them and train them, but if you raise them with your livestock or poultry around, they're going to bond with those animals as well. They're also very territorial, so they're going to stay close to the area, to the house, to the flock, or to the herd, and be there to protect them.
Yeah. And while most dogs are going to display a lot of those traits, there are certain breeds that have been bred, to really focus on some of those traits. These guardian breeds, they're independent. They make decisions, right, on, hey, this is the problem, I need to go address this, this is how I need to tackle that, and they're protective.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So how hard, if you don't have a dog currently, but you have a flock, how hard is it to bring a dog into the picture?
Well, you're going to have to do some training.
Yeah, do it carefully. Don't just
Yeah,
assume it's gonna
guardian
be
dogs, while they're great at the job and probably the number one animal that people think about when they think about a guardian animal, it requires training and it requires time to get them to the point where they're an effective guardian animal. So, you got to deal with that.
And again, if you want a guardian dog, it's not, well, sometimes it's a guardian dog, sometimes it's a pet.
Right.
It's one or the other.
Right.
They don't go back and forth. You've got to either train them to be a guardian dog and behave like a guardian dog, or they're a pet that, sometimes out there may have some other things, but it's not going to be, there's specific training that goes into those.
Yeah, it's not going to be
dogs.
sleeping at the foot of your bed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of the breeds that have been bred specifically to be guardian dogs.
Okay, well, the classic one is the Great Pyrenees, right? They're gentle and calm, but also fearless when defending. Good good animals. They're very popular as guardian dogs.
Another one is the Anatolian Shepherd. It's known for, among other things, being very fast, and they like to chase predators away and intimidate predators with how fast they can go after them. Yeah. So that's another good one.
The Tibetan Mastiff.
Yeah.
That's a bad dog.
Big
right?
dog.
They're known to fight off large predators like bears.
Right.
Which I ain't gonna do. So kudos to the dog.
And there's a lot of other breeds too. I mean, there's the Commodore, there's the Merma sheepdog, the Kuvats, a Hungarian breed that's bred for protecting livestock. So lots of different choices out there.
Again, as we mentioned already, all fantastic choices, but all will require training to become an effective guardian dog.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Which dog would you pick if you had to pick one?
I don't know.
I'm not interested in having a livestock guardian dog. I do okay with where I'm at and the predators I have, the lab and the whatever dog I have work for me.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm ever going to be interested in. I'm not interested in having this type of animal on my farm. For me, personally.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, I like dogs. I've had dogs. I have a dog currently, but they're pets. They're not really trained for or acquired to be a guardian animal.
All right. So let's move on here. So dogs sound like a pretty good option.
Yep.
Be very effective. You put in the right time and effort into them.
Yep.
How about a donkey?
Don't let my wife see this video. She wants a donkey so bad. And they can be a good option to protect animals out on pasture. Goats or sheep or a common one that you'll see them out there with. They're naturally kind of aggressive towards canines. So that's, stray dogs, coyotes, even foxes and that kind of stuff as well. So they work well in a pasture situation. Where you've got animals out on pasture away from everything else.
Yeah. They can be quite effective towards the canines. They may try to take on larger predators like a mountain lion or a bear or something like that. And occasionally they will deter these types of predators, but I wouldn't count on them if that's what you're worried about. They also have to be very socialized with the animals that they're meant to protect. So they have to be kept in that herd. And the downside to that is if you have animals that are calving or kidding or lambing, you can't have a donkey around because they're typically going to be very aggressive towards the young animals.
It's a newcomer. It's not part of the established flock. Here's something new. That's a threat. They've been known to go kill all the lambs and stuff like that. So you do have to be careful. They have their place, but
how about a miniature donkey?
They're
probably
cute.
Not a good option.
They're cute, but they're not going to be guardian animals.
Yeah, in fact, most of the places that breed miniature donkeys will kind of warn you not to acquire them as a guardian animal. They're a lot smaller, so they're more likely to get hurt if they're tangling with a predator rather than actually effectively chase them away.
All right, here's another option that might not be common. A llama. Is that better than a donkey?
Well, in some respects, yeah, it is. They're less likely to challenge fences, and they're going to guard the pasture similar to like a donkey would. The downside is they're probably going to be a lot more expensive to acquire and harder to find, so they might not be available in your area. So it's kind of a give and take
it depends
between them.
It depends. You might find them cheaper. The other kind of big difference is, donkeys will actually go fight. Mm-hmm. They'll go attack. Llamas not so much. Llamas are posturing, right? I'm going to stand here. I'm going to kind of posture. I'm going to kind of make some noise in an attempt to thwart an attack, to ward off an attack. But I'm actually not going to go give myself dirty, right? Yeah. when push comes to shove, I'm shoving off. So that's a consideration. Typically, if we're looking at llamas or alpacas, you're looking at gelded males. Yeah. That's going to be your least expensive option, and they tend to work out
Yeah, males are
The best
larger. They're natural herd leaders, and like you said, they're going to be cheaper than getting a breeding male or a female.
All right, and now let's talk about Steve's favorite, the goose.
The goose.
Geese, they're great alarms. Right, they got a set of pipes.
Yep.
They can raise the alarm almost as loud as guineas. And again, they're kind of a deterrent. If you've got a small fox or something that's kind of stalking your flock, you
Coyote,
get coyotes are a little bit big, but maybe. But you put a 30-pound goose out there, that's a bit different than a 6-pound chicken. Right. A 30-pound goose with a pair of honkers. Those, you ever been beat by a pair of goose's wings? If you haven't, you don't want to experience it.
Yeah, when they're standing upright and flapping their wings and making all that noise, they're quite intimidating to some predators. So they can be effective in that way. They're very territorial.
Yep. They're
They're aggressive towards invaders. They also have great eyesight.
They do.
And they're particularly aware of their surroundings. Their situational awareness is really good.
Yeah. Now, I think you brought this up in our goose video we did just last week. Geese, if you want them as a guardian, get a goose or maybe a couple of geese. If you have a flock of geese, that flock of geese is its own independent entity. They could care less about your chickens or your ducks or whatever else. They're not going to worry with them. But if you have just the one goose or a couple geese, they may become part of that flock and kind of view them as part of their flock and become a better guardian animal. If you're looking for guardians, don't have a flock because they'll just be separate.
Right.
And ironically, females sometimes make better options as guardians.
Yeah, that comes down to the idea that if I have a single male and he's ready to mate and I only have chickens or turkeys or ducks around, he's going to harass the chickens, turkeys, and ducks, and he can be aggressive and dangerous during that time. But if I just have a female or a couple females, they'll still be great alarms, and they'll still fight off those predators, but you're not going to have those issues.
Yeah.
So.
And one more thing to note here, and this kind of goes for all of the animals we've talked about. If they can kind of grow up in that family, it makes it easier for them to associate. This is my family. This is who I protect. Right? If I go down to the farm and ranch store and I come home with 24 chicks and a gosling, and they grow up together in the same brooder and go out together, that's a flock. Right. If I have 24 chickens and I go out and pick up a full-grown gander from the auction and bring him home, there's going to be some introduction and that may or may not work. Right. They may eventually kind of come together. They may never. So raising them together is going to be a good way to help ensure success with these guardian animals. And the same thing goes, again with the dogs and the llamas. And if there's some time together, that's going to play an important role.
And another thing to point out when it comes to having a guardian animal, you shouldn't rely solely on your guardian animal for predator protection. So have fencing, have sturdy housing for them, lighting. You mentioned before that you mowed your lawn when you had a coyote come creeping around so that he didn't have much cover to hide in. So all these different things together are going to make predator protection a little bit more effective, and the guardian animal will be able to do its job a lot easier.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
All right. Well, thanks for the information. One of the things I enjoyed was there's a lot more options than just getting a dog.
Yeah.
Although dog's probably the most popular, but hey, kind of look around and decide what's right for you and your situation. And what we'd love to do is hear about what you guys have done out in YouTube world. Do you have guardian animals? What do you use? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Put it in the comments. We'd love to read them. If you have any other questions, drop them in there too. We'd love to answer them on our videos. And if you have subscribed, please do. We appreciate everyone that does. And also, if you made it this far, go ahead and give us a like. Till next time.
Keep on hobby farming.